streaming isn't available right now.
Yeah, figures.
We're live on Periscope and Twitch, but YouTube is being a pain in the ass. So
all right.
Hello Twitch, hello Periscope. Sorry you can't see us yet, but everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. Today we're hanging out with Brandon.
Brandon Cooper and Devanch.
Thank you, Mitch. My brain is fucking fried today, if you can't tell. We started late for a reason. It's been a long day. We met Brandon in LA in October of last year. The last month that we ever got to go to crypto conferences before 2020 took a hold of it and strangled us. We did not get a chance to meet Devanch at that time, so I'm really excited to kind of get into his background and learn a little bit more. So it's always a fun dynamic when we've got an old friend and a new friend at the same time. We get some interesting conversations. So
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, they're working with Aphid. Brandon's the CEO. And Devanch, what's your title there?
I work in strategic development and business ops there.
Awesome. So how did you and Brandon actually get hooked up with Aphid? Did you meet each other in Aphid, or is this something you've known each other beforehand?
No, I actually met him through AngelList. Actually, was such a cool find, man.
Really?
It was just during COVID. I was just trading. I wasn't working anywhere. I took time off. Actually, I stopped working for my previous startup, and I'm like, we don't know when the markets are looking decent, but we don't know when the bull market is coming. So, it's about time I stopped scalping a lot and join a firm. And Aphid popped up, and it was like, it hit all the right boxes that I was looking for. And then I talked to Aphid I talked to Brandon at Aphid, and again, that ticked all the right boxes, and that just worked out. And here we are today.
That's awesome. Sometimes things are just fall into place like that for a reason, right? So it's really cool. We talked a lot about what Aphid was doing on the podcast, Brandon, like a year ago, but we haven't talked a whole lot since. I know you and Mitch have been in contact a little bit, but it sounds like there's been a whole lot of developments with Aphid. So before we get into too much of the crazy stuff, let's talk a little bit about what you guys have been doing over there and what we might be seeing coming from you in the future.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we've changed our product roadmap in terms of what we're going to roll out first, just to make it most advantageous for the people that are obviously going to have bots running for them. So I'm sure there are probably some listeners who don't know what we do, but just to preface that, we basically create automation solutions to where a robot is going to earn money for you. So basically a digital sales agent is going to work out in our network. And if it makes a sale, you as the human controller of it will get paid. You don't have to do anything, you just pay a subscription. So that's what we do in a nutshell. Our go-to-market strategy, since we last talked, and the product roadmap that we shifted to, is to put B2B on the forefront. So what we're doing is we're bringing on SMB companies to get our chatbot solutions on those websites first, so the bots will have someone to work. The B2B solution, these companies will basically pay a certain tier for certain features and such, but we're just doing a pilot right now. So our pilot is really, really close. We have the negotiations and things like that in place for the companies that want to roll with us. We are starting off with a niche vertical of the companies that want to come on board, which is going to be in the cannabis industry. So we're going in California, working with those companies, starting off there, and then we'll open up the next verticals at the beginning of next year. So we're really, really awesome about that.
That's awesome, man. You guys have come a long way. It's I think the niche that you guys are in is really like a huge thing that's going to start showing up in the next couple of years, that putting your technology to work for you. We're already starting to see it with things like Uber and whatnot. We're kind of in those middle stages where it's not really automated fully yet, but when you just start combining concept of Uber Eats, that kind of thing, with automated vehicles, you kind of get a similar thing, just on a different scale. I think there's a lot of that coming in the future. Do you guys see any sort of expansion moving out of the robot, like the communication side, and into a more physical realm?
Yeah, we won't let the cat all the way out the bag, but we will be getting into some IoT.
Nice.
To say the least, and some hardware. That's going to be really, really exciting. It's just easier to start out with software and then eventually scale out from there. But yeah, we've grown a lot, man. We're almost 30 people in the company right now, believe it or not. I mean, Devanch will tell you, we had hyper growth. I mean, we had over 400 applicants, people trying to be a part of the company. And Our team is rolling, man. I mean, we have an awesome culture over here. It's growing rapidly, and it's looking different.
That's so awesome. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, it just blows me away how rapidly things can change and how much growth we can see in such a short period of time. You know, and I'm so excited for you guys, and I'm excited to hear more about this stuff and learn more. You know, and it just, I don't know, you find yourself with good people and around good people, and it just makes it that much more exciting. You know what I'm saying? So
Indeed.
kudos for kicking this thing in the butt. I'm loving it. Definitely loving it.
For sure. Appreciate it.
So Devansh, Brandon's already had to deal with this once, and he'll get another one this time around. But we're gonna throw you under the bus today and just see how things go for you.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if you had to move your entire head to another part of your body and then replace your head with a random household object, what household object would it be, and where would you move your head to?
Okay, can it be something off my work desk?
It could be anything you want.
Okay,
that's close enough to a household item.
My webcam.
There you go. I like it. Where are you gonna put your head after you move that? Put the webcam there.
On my desk. So when I come back, I can take the webcam.
Oh, you just swap them out.
All day, because there's so much going on all the time. I can come back, rewind, watch it, what I need to focus on, and take it forward again.
It's kind of funny how much that ties into what you guys are actually doing, right? It's almost like that
virtual
working.
I was going to say that, but I was like, I'm going to let that one.
Like, I'm not going to plug that one. Maybe somebody else will do it.
Right. I'll let you guys plug that. Yeah.
Yeah. I like those accidental plug opportunities. I'm not complaining. Certainly
See,
not.
Earlier I had a little bit of an old man brain fart. You know, I was actually going to say, yeah, it's gone again. Damn it. No, what's got to be the hardest thing about these podcasts is, especially for you guys, is letting the cat out of the bag. When you're doing what you're doing, this is a good question for me, I think, is when you're doing what you're doing, how do you hold your tongue? I get so excited about shit. It's like next to impossible for me not to share it with at least somebody close to me, because it's like you get all this built up energy and excitement, and you got to share it with somebody. How do you not like do that? You know what I'm saying? Especially like in a podcast or something like that. How do you, like you said earlier, I'm not going to let all the cats out of the bag, you know, so you give little teasers along the way, but I've always wondered how people do that, because I can't. I can't. Don't tell me.
I'm not good at it either.
That's all I'm saying.
That's one of the hardest thing, really, is like whenever we are talking to people outside the company, or for example, this podcast, like even before coming on, we're just, of course, we're working, and then just coming straight onto the podcast, it's like, don't say something you're not meant to, you know?
Right.
Keep that in mind.
Right. We try not to ask too many dangerous questions.
Yeah, it's probably better that we stay away from the dangerous questions most of the time.
Yeah.
It's on us if we want to answer them or not. We complete the fifth.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that we're not going to say something.
We expect you to ask us and say, hey, give us some insight.
Oh yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I like how Elon Musk talked about, you know, the hyperloop and the things he was working on before, and just let other people just start working on it. And I mean, we're going to be doing a lot of the same thing, but I think what crypto has changed, times have changed. You know, Apple used to release certain features and it would be secretive, and it would just boom, it would lay it on people. But now crypto has tried to change it with white papers where they're laying out the next 10 years, and there's no element of surprise. So people already feel like they have everything figured out. But yeah, we're openly just talking about what we're working on, just to set the identity out into the crypto sphere, crypto universe, right? People know that we are the innovators in this sector. We've invented something, and we're the first mover in that. And then getting people excited about it and building a community. I really believe in what is for you is for you. And there's only one Brandon Cooper. There's only one Devansh. There's only one of you guys, right? We're all just one-on-one. And I think we should share more, and it shouldn't be on the competitive landscape. We should just start to build together.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. You know, and if everybody thought that way, you know, and I think there's a lot of people that do, but there's also a lot of people that are solely building for themselves, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, if everybody thought that way, we wouldn't nearly have the divided, you know, I would say country, but divided world that we have.
Right.
You know?
I mean, we need competition, you know, you have to have competition.
Yeah, you have to disagree, but you have to like
right.
work to, if you don't agree to disagree, then you never have constructive conversations. You just end up being like, no, you're stupid. No, you're stupid. And then that's the end of it.
Right.
And then nobody does it
Everybody
again.
goes away stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you can say, oh, well, your idea doesn't work because of this, this, and that. And then the other guy says, well, yours doesn't work because of this and that. And then you go, okay, we'll fix A, B, C, D, E. And then all of our ideas work together as one functioning idea. And then we have a fucking solution. But God forbid we do that because,
That would
whatever.
be called a consensus, would it
That's Jed
not?
McCaleb.
Yeah.
Jed McCaleb and with him and Stellar, him leaving Ripple. He's like, nah, I want to do it this way. I had a different idea, a different vision, and then it spurs off. And you see all these forks, Bitcoin, they're doing all these forks, and everyone wants their name on the building, opposed to just, we would have more massive adoption if more people just contributed to pre-existing projects and companies, but that's just not how it is. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's times where new companies need to be formed, but the majority that, like you say, that happens just because they want to put their name on the building instead of somebody else. So,
Yep.
So Brandon, what's the coolest sound you can think of right now?
like a random sound.
The coolest sound you can think of, yeah, random sound. Could be anything you want.
Coolest sound. Let's see. I will let one cat out the bag. So when your bot makes you money in our app, it's gonna go money.
Nice.
You guys are.
That's amazing.
No one outside of the company has ever heard that, but it's not me, but you'll hear the robotic sound. That's what the sound is gonna make. So
that's hilarious.
That's cool.
The new cha-ching out there.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
The new cha-ching. I was gonna
It
say,
is,
you know,
because
dopamine hit.
the movie
when I
Transformers.
was
when the Decepticons come in, that's a cool sound. But I like the one you just said. That's an even better, more cool sound.
Nice.
Sorry.
There we go.
ahead,
Yeah, you should add another feature. No, I don't know what I was talking about. I was fucking gone. It doesn't matter. It was stupid and unimportant anyway. But you should down the road incorporate the ability to customize your cha-ching. And you could call it your cha-ching noise, and you can customize it. It could be the money, or it could be like, what else could it be? I don't know. There's a lot of good ones, but I'm drawing a blank right now. Mitch could come up with some creative ones. It's on the spot, Mitch. What's your cha-ching sound?
What's my cha-ching
Just like
sound?
that. Yeah.
Down.
I see.
That's the Hulk Hogan music. Hollywood Hogan.
There you go.
I want to give a quick shout
Love
out
it,
to
love it.
Litecoin Lisa and Clint Westwood for joining us tonight. And I can't pronounce that name. Looks like King Shit, but it's not King Shit. I'm so sorry. What is KH?
You're fired.
Yeah, I'm fired.
Unacceptable.
Kashit? Something like that. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for joining us. We're happy to have everybody here. Y'all are awesome.
That's right. That's right. We could never do this
without...
without
brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown
cow.
I was like, what is she talking about? Now I understand. It took me a second. It's all good.
I didn't know there was actually words to that.
We got to add that feature, Brandon.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's awesome.
I'm all for it.
I like it. All right. So, question for both of you. Okay, I'll let it go, and then Mitch, you can.
No. Go.
I'm too nice.
All right. Do it.
All right. So recommend.
No,
I'm trying to do it. Now you're talking. Hold on. You're gonna sit. You're gonna wait there quietly for like 3 to 4 seconds while I ask my question, because it's really important. He's muted. He's drinking. He's not even gonna talk. Thumb his mouth. All right. So I want you guys to recommend a book to us to read. The last time we asked this was Andreas Antonopoulos. We have some really good suggestions, so I'm curious what you guys have. It's always nice to pick up some new reading material. I always end up down the same hole every time I go buy books. So I don't know if y'all read, but I'm sure you do. So what do you got for us?
DK?
Besides work, I haven't been doing much of reading on the side, but the last one I read was Outliers. And I think everybody should just read that book. Because it's not for a specific group of people. It's what people understand from that book, but you can read it and everybody can relate to that book. So I think that will be an interesting one.
It's a good idea. That's a good one. Good suggestion.
For sure. And then this is my current read right now. Deep Learning Revolution.
Nice.
And it's by Terrence, he pronounces it Chanovsky. really, really good. It has a lot of good visuals in there too. But anyone who's interested in machine learning and AI, I've got a lot of great information in it.
Awesome. Good.
From
Good. I'm going to order both of those tonight now, unfortunately, which means that too many more. My bookshelves are literally, I have books stacked on top of books because I need more bookshelves, and I have a significant amount of bookshelves. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to need to remove some things because I don't have room for more bookshelves. So
I'm just not getting back into hardcovers too. I was doing a lot of digital books. I'm like, man, let me go grab and do it the old school way. And I think
here.
I'm gonna start going back into hardcovers for sure.
Clint says 1984. That would be my go-to every time as well. 1984 is possible. That and Animal Farm. And in fact, they're often printed together now. But yeah, those are good ones too.
I was gonna say Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good book when it comes to finances and, you know, why people are typically in the position they are financially, you know, because when we're raised in a certain way, you know, people that have money know how to make money and, you know, respect money differently than people that grow up having to work. And it's really weird how the differences play out from one another, but it, you know, it's a really good book. I've pulled a lot of good things out of that for sure. So
for sure, and you get to see both sides of the spectrum at
Right.
the same time. Most people don't have anything to compare to. Their world is the only thing that's been introduced to them, a product of their environment. But when you have options and you see this lifestyle and that lifestyle, now you can actually make an educated choice on which way you want to go. And you know, the tree only grows from the roots or the seed that was planted, right? And it's very hard to reverse it in the wrong situations. You know, I think up until the age of about 17 or so is really when people kind of reach the point of no return, unless they go out and do some time and they will reflect, and you know, some people find God or whatever it may be and can have their life change. But those are like very, very small percentages. But yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad was my introduction into entrepreneurship. Really, really taught me a lot that I knew. And Kiyosaki also has another one called Cash Flow Quadrants. That's I actually learned about that before Rich Dad Poor Dad, where it breaks down the differences. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it breaks down the differences between the E quadrant, the S quadrant, B quadrant, and I quadrant. And most people are in the E quadrant. That's the majority of the people who basically work a job and they get taxed the most. And then they have the S quadrant, which is self-employed, where a person basically owns a restaurant. They're kind of running an adult daycare type of thing. They have to be there. They're in a way a slave to their own business. And then the B quadrant is when things change. You have more tax advantages. Your business is running. You can go on vacation and you're still operating, which is like the Jeff Bezos of the world, et cetera. And then you have the I quadrant, which is for people, Warren Buffett and heavy investors, people who basically their money is making them money while they sleep.
I was just going to say, you know, that the mindset there is everything, you know, because we, like me growing up middle class, you know, okay, what can I do to make money? What can I do to work and earn money, instead of how can I get my money to work for me? And once you can grasp those two thought processes and think about how you can get your money to work for you, and you know, we've put value in cryptocurrency. We put value in these digital assets that we partake in, and that we invest in. And I think, to me, even though it's not, I mean, it's work, right? But it's not really that much work, but it's letting our money work for us by putting our money into sound money, because cryptocurrencies have proven themselves to be sound money. It's mathematical code. Yep. You know, and it's deflationary. So I think being ahead of that curve and being ahead of, you know, being early on in this whole scenario that we're all a part of is just a blessing on multiple fronts, regardless of the money. It just truly is to be a part of all this tech and all this growth and all this. And I say this all the time, you know, all this cooperative working together, people trying to make things better, trying to make the world a better place, is what it all boils down to. So blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm rambling.
That's always the best ending to a paragraph. Blah blah blah. In fact,
Right?
I'm gonna write a new book. That'll be my book suggestion. Is my new
Blah, blah,
book,
blah.
blah blah blah, by Mitch. He just muted himself again.
The algorithm is drastically increasing thanks to like the whole crypto scene over the
Yeah.
last years, which a lot of people would have never thought, let's go to traditional assets or something, but there's a lot of hype around a lot of friends in general all over the world thanks to crypto, and that's what we need. We need more people in the I quadrant.
Yep, and it's just a matter of time, and there's so many other reasons too why crypto helps revolutionize everything that even relevant to the stuff we're talking about, like just the concept of microtransactions makes everything that you guys are doing exponentially easier. Being able to do real-time payments for stuff like that, I mean, it's just crazy. What kind of payment sort of solutions are you guys looking at outside of real-time payments and that sort of thing going forward?
And is it more towards the use case of what we plan to do with our utility token, or make sure I'm answering you correctly? Yeah. So we have a certain area in our ecosystem called Port, which is basically a decentralized app store for bots. It's built on IPFS. Developers will be able to go into Port and using JSON or Python. If they want to just build out different plugins for people, you can go into there to the store and use the tokens to basically install these plugins. So it works for B2B and also for B2C controllers.
It's awesome. I like seeing those things operate in an ecosystem like that. There's not just one-sided. It's not just one purpose. There's so many ways that you can integrate it that it's a shame when you see these companies that have such a powerful tool and they don't implement 90% of the potential use cases for it. So.
And I believe a lot of people try to do too much too soon, opposed to just tackling one particular area, one particular niche, dominating that, and then scaling.
Yeah, you got to have a good roadmap, and you have to actually work your way there. It's, you can't do nothing, but you can't do too much either. It's like with everything, there's two sides to that. And that's another thing that we see happening is everybody trying to do too much, especially when you get these ICOs that have earned millions of dollars. And some of them just can't fathom how to handle that much money, and they just drive themselves into the ground. Others think that they're invincible because they have 10 million bucks in the bank. And so they plan out these roadmaps that are, to somebody who has never gone down the path of building out a large business, it might seem perfectly reasonable to think you could do some of these things with 10 million bucks, but you run into some of these crazy cost expenses, that nobody that's never gone through that type of experience would ever foresee. And so then they end up totally shitting the bed and having no option and no way out to actually accomplish their goals. And then you see that happen, and you got these ICO failures all over the place because of it. But in some cases, you get a few of them that actually have a good idea, and they get some good brains behind the operations, and then all of a sudden they've got all the resources they need, and some really, really good stuff comes out of it. So we've seen some amazing stuff in the crypto space for the exact opposite reason. So,
yep, total agreement with that. And most companies, it takes marketing too. I mean, if you look at Stellar, I think they could do a kick up in the ways that they market and penetrate partnerships and such too. Because I would love, if you look at the pool run, a lot of them were moving, but Stellar was one of the ones that kind of sat still, and I didn't see a lot of green from it. And I'm like, they're lacking something somewhere. But I like what they're doing though. That's not a knock on them. I just, I anticipate to see more from them.
Yeah. I think, as we move forward, it's going to be, I haven't followed them too closely, but they feel like they've got the motivation. It just, they're kind of losing a little bit of steam. It feels like on the actual kicking it in the ass side. But I think a lot of, even though we all talk about how who's ever out here busting ass the most is the ones we want to pay attention to, there's still a lot of really good projects that have been dragging over the past 3 years, just because it's been really hard for everybody because of the market. It's been really hard. Yeah. So, no judgment to those people. I mean, you got to do what you got to do with what you have. A lot of these people, and it's not the case with Stellar, but a lot of these projects are people that have, a regular job too. The crypto space is something that moves very fast. So a lot of these projects happen, they kind of occur overnight, and then they get success overnight again. And when you see that, you've got people working regular day jobs that they can't just quit on a whim, because the chances of their project really being successful long term are low when you're this early in a space, and they know that. So you can't just dynamite everything, but it makes it really hard when times are tight money wise on the crypto side to continue just sitting there chugging away at everything. So it makes it hard for some of those projects.
Well, that, and plus it's easy to, it seems like it would be easy to lose steam, I mean, how do you say it? you're working on the same thing, and even though each part of it might be different, but you're still working at the same goal, and it seems like it stretches out. The longer something takes to make, the harder it is to maintain your interest in it. I mean, I've worked on cabinetry where I build an entire kitchen, right? I mean, we're talking 45, 50 cabinets. And it took me years to make this kitchen for my friend that was, planning way ahead, which was a good thing. But after 3 months of working on this thing, you get burned out, and you have to put it away, and you have to set it aside. And, especially if you're not surrounded by a bunch of creative people that want to assist and that want to help, or that are at the same goal, and everybody kind of challenges each other and keeps you driving forward. It's challenging to want or to have that energy to keep going forward without that.
Yeah, for sure, valid.
Yeah,
So-
and it's especially like when you look at Cardano, it's one thing to take a while, but they've been building their tech out, and I believe under the hood they're going to have one of the best projects out there because they're taking their time. You can take
Right.
your time if it's all worth it, but it only time it's not worth it is if you're developing something and the market has changed because you were so ready. What they call it, getting ready to get ready, and the time has passed. The market has changed, and there's DPoS, and there's proof of work, and there's proof of stake, and all of these things. And now it's DeFi, now it's staking, and we
Right.
don't do that anymore. Now it's a hash graph, and things change so much, and it's really just about trying to forecast it in the crypto space can be very, very difficult. But the thing that is constant is payments and fast transactions and security. These are things that a lot of the protocol should be built upon, is the basic foundations.
Now let me
Well,
ask you.
and the
Go
hard
ahead.
part is a lot of those a lot of those basic foundations are I don't know where I was going with that. I'm going to blame it on you for starting to talk, but it's
And
definitely not that.
that's perfectly fine. We don't have our script tonight, so it's hard to not
This
jump
was
at each
something
other.
that was good too. That's okay.
Damn it. It'll
You'll
come
get
to
it.
me.
You'll get it
Come
after
back.
the call. I'm like, damn it, here it is.
Exactly. And then
See,
I'll
now
just
you're
go on, and I'll just
Your
go on
forgetting
my
made
stream
me
and
forget what I was
conversate.
gonna say. So it's like it had to do something with AI, I'm sure.
Did it something to do with AI? Yeah.
Cardano.
Exactly. No, I know it was. So a lot of those foundations are built on user bases, right? So
Yeah.
when the market goes down, everybody disappears from crypto and it gets quiet. You can just see it on social media, even. All the interaction just goes away. It fizzles up. People leave the space. They're sick of losing money. They don't want anything to do with Bitcoin, and they go back to their regular lives, or it's just not that exciting anymore. And so they're not there every day, and they're not using the products. They're just kind of holding their tokens and checking Binance once in a while. So when you lose like 70% of your user base for 8 months at a time because the market is dipping, then it's really hard to actually to test those things and test your security and test your scalability, because you can't really do that. I mean, there's only so much testing you can do without real users. And when you get to that stage where you need those users, if you don't have them, you can't help but remain stagnant, because you just don't have what you need to do what you need to do. So that makes it hard, especially in crypto where everything is so software centric. You have to have users, and you have to have a lot of them. Blockchain is about distribution and wide distribution, not a few users here and there, and it just doesn't work. So that's another issue that we have that gets better going forward.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Brandon, when did we met 12, 13 months ago. It was in October, right, of 19.
I believe so.
At the Los Angeles. It was in LA. When
Blockchain Summit, I believe.
at what point was this project with you? And when I say that, I mean, when, at what point did this idea come to you, and where were you actually in the stages? I remember it was like way in the beginning. So you were still talking about, the possibilities and the potentials of AI, and, the thought process or the idea of using AI to, create something, a bot that's actually doing work that you would normally mundanely be doing at home and or fixed on your computer, but now you have this bot doing it so you can go off and do other things. When did all this like really hit home with you? When did this idea come?
It it really formulated. I knew that it needed to be something in place to actually do the work efficiently. And to me, that was really just machine learning because when you get to the deep learning level, it's very much correlated to the human brain when you start talking about the neurons and the way synapses happen and way things are respond. You can actually start to program these different devices to learn on its own, right? Um, it's really mind blowing when you like really look at it and educate yourself on deep learning and how much similar it is. And I said, okay, well, what can it do that I was doing? And I was at a big tech company and like, all right, okay, we could do chat support. So, all right, perfect. We're gonna build our chat bots. Okay, what's the bottom line? What do people care the most about when it's all said and done? I want to make money. Like, okay, cool. So let's just go ahead and create the chatbot system. And because when we talked before, it wasn't a chatbot system, and I mean, we've evolved so much since that time. It was really just the ideation piece around that time of what we were looking to do and how we're going to actually execute it. We had to trim off a lot of fat. And there was a lot of fat going on, and we had to get more practical and get down to things that, we knew were actually going to work and something that's actually feasible. Because otherwise, it's just an idea. If you can't execute it, it's not going to hit the bottom line. It's not going to work. And the chatbot solutions, as I mentioned, was the best way to penetrate that market. But that's when I knew. I said, okay, yeah, we got something here. I know exactly how this is going to work. And then talk to the architects and his name's AJ Argishi. He's on our team, head of design. He started to make everything look sexy as he's working on all the designs and everything. And that's when it started to feel like, that shiny Mercedes Benz or that Lamborghini. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, this shit is looking super fucking fantastic now. And then the influx of applications and the interviews, and I mean, you guys supporting, but it really kicks things up in the energy within the culture of our own company when they see us out here talking, me and Devon on here, and people are looking at it like, man, these guys are rolling. So a lot of companies are just talking, but we're actually getting shit done and executing on the back end and not relying on investors to kick it up and boohoo crying about shit and saying, no, let's go out there, get real fucking customers, real people excited. Because one thing I know as an entrepreneur is that the 9 to 5 fucking sucks. It's terrible, right? It's really, really awful. I've always been passionate about disrupting the 9 to 5 my whole life. And I was like, yeah, let's turn our passion into profits.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to follow it. If you're not doing that, you're not going to be doing it for very long.
No, not at all. That's awesome. I'm still so trying to absorb everything. We have so much to catch up on. What I need to do is come to California for about a week or two, me and the professor, and I'll just stay in your hip pocket for about a week and just absorb. I'll be like that sponge. Absorb as much as possible. I'll forget half of it by the time I get back home, but what I do remember, I'll be a lot smarter than I was when I left.
There you go. That was a good time. That was definitely one of the best events we've ever been to.
I know it, man. I know it. We're definitely gonna hook up. Whether you come home or I come down there, one of the two.
I'll be up next month, so we'll get up. I'll be up there for a couple of weeks.
Okay,
so let's get up.
All right, definitely. Drink a toast to that. Hang on, let me grab my McDonald's cup.
No, you can't. All right. So, how many of you have attempted to fleet? How many of you know what I'm talking about?
I don't even.
Today was my first fleet. I posted my first set of fleets today. Cause I just did an interview with a guy named Michael Blake in Atlanta. His podcast Decision Vision. I just posted it on there, and I was like, all right, we're already used to it. I mean, it's very easy for them. I think it's good for Twitter for this simple reason, and this reason only, is that direct messages in Twitter don't correlate well. People don't really direct message or they don't respond well just based on my experience through Twitter. And I think now with having the fleets going on as the stories, people will start to message and talk back and forth. So this is a really good move and an obvious move from Twitter. I mean, LinkedIn has integrated it too. It makes sense.
Yeah, one of those evolutions you kind of expect to see on social media platforms, and it's always one of those things that feels weird and a little kind of clunky right off the bat, and eventually will probably kind of show its true colors at how it really is best used and how you can really take advantage of it for marketing or just for having fun. So we'll see. I threw a couple things out there just for shits and giggles, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm a non-fleet professional yet, but one of these days maybe.
Nice.
All right.
What you,
So
BK?
this
Oh, no,
is
go ahead, Mitch.
this is I don't know. I'm gonna do a toss up. I'm gonna ask Brandon first, and then I'll ask Devin. Brandon, if you could dispense anything out of your nipples, what would it be?
This one, I love this one.
What the hell you expect me to?
I don't
Well, what was
know.
the other answer we got?
Chocolate
like whiskey
syrup,
and milk or
you know,
some
I
shit?
mean, a little bit of vodka to
Man,
one. I don't know.
man, let me see.
I definitely have vodka and cranberry.
Nice. I like that though. I like that. Now I'm gonna say Jameson. It'd probably either be Jameson and Sprite.
Jameson and Sprite. All right. All right. All right. How about you, Devansh?
I'll keep it at IPAs.
There's a couple different ones.
Hazy IPAs. We'll do that.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Lisa says Bitcoin. That'd be the best Bitcoin faucet I've ever seen. Clint says,
Yeah, right?
what the fuck, which I kind of agree with. But, I would say French fries and ranch, but the French fries might cause some problems.
You said gravy last time. You had gravy coming out of one and French fries coming out of the other. I don't know. It was funny.
Poutine. Yeah, wait. Cheese curds.
All right. So, Professor, you got another one?
Do I have another one? I can make there be another one.
Hell yeah. Make there be another one.
Great. Okay, so
like
what song are you feeling right now, Brandon? And then Devon should go after.
This is a tough one.
Ooh.
You guys are stumping me. I'm gonna let Devansh go first because I have to think on it. Throwing you right under the bus.
It's good for him. It builds character, I guarantee you.
That's right. Just watch out for the exhaust.
Any song right now?
Yeah, whatever song what song are you vibing with?
All right. It was something I was listening to this morning by Tupac. All Eyes on Me.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Highest in the room.
I'm gonna say it's an artist, ASAP Ferg, New Level. I feel like we're on a new level, and the song it's an old song with Future, but it just gets me hyped when I hear it.
I love that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think that's
if you haven't heard
amazing
it,
way to close that out.
Listen to it. You get out the shower.
Nice.
I'd have to go with country. I'd have to go with Brooks and Dunn, Hard Working Man.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, spending all how many weeks down there in Florida building shit?
What's that? I was down in Florida.
Johnny Cash?
Oh yeah, I like some Johnny Cash. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I was down in Florida for 6.5 weeks. I was supposed to go down there. I was supposed to go down there for a week to work on my previous boss's house. And we drove down there, and a week later he fired the floor guy. So guess who? Yours truly doing the floors, But one thing led to another, and damn, we did a hell of a renovation. It was a lot.
Turned out amazing. The pictures I saw of it are incredible. So,
oh man, I tell you
what, you're welcome to come here and work for free anytime.
Right? That island. Oh my God, dude, that island was 10'4" long by 7'6" wide. And Charlie on crypto Twitter, Charlie was like, "Oh my God, that's huge!" He's like, "That's not going to be one piece." Well, we were told we could get a one piece. Yeah, you couldn't get that in one piece, let alone get it on the damn cabinetry in one piece. You get it through the door, 12-foot doors, but you ain't getting it you ain't getting it on there. But man, that thing came out pretty lit. It was a lot of fun.
It was cool. I like it.
I mean, to not have my shop, the biggest challenge was not having my shop. I mean, I build cabinets all the time, right? But to do it in a garage, 1,300 miles from home, without my machinery, without all my tools, and just having the basics. It was kind of like caveman days. I'm using a circular saw and a straight edge and a router, and that's pretty much what I had to build with. And it came out sweet. I was pretty impressed and had a lot of fun doing it. So that was the best part.
Nice.
Took his concept and put it into reality. So I love doing that stuff. And we were joking back and forth. I'm like, I'm really considering buying a van and just being a traveling carpenter and go to, all over the place and even all over the world and just build stuff for people. I think it'd be.
You guys should
Do
wrap
it.
it in the
Do it.
campfire and do
Oh,
the
yeah.
podcast on the road. I think that'll be slick.
Well, that's always
That would
been
be
our
cool.
that's always been our dream,
And
We always wanted to do a world tour and get
Oh
out
my
there
God.
and to go around and just talk about crypto in all sorts of different countries and places and things like that.
Right.
So
One day.
one day,
We'll get there.
one day. But in the meantime, we can bounce around and visit a bunch of CoinFlip ATMs. So huge shout out to
Right?
CoinFlip ATM for sponsoring this episode. If you haven't used one, check out coinflip.tech. You can find a map of all the ATM locations and you can see if there's one near you. If there is, go check it out, use it, maybe post a video on Twitter so we can take a look at it and let us know how your experience went. If there's not one, let us know about that and maybe we can get one out there.
Or you can
So-
use the OTC desk.
Oh, yeah, right on their website.
Like
Like I say,
right?
coinflip.tech. You can go and buy your Bitcoin right on there. And
They
how many
got 3
coins do
different
they have
options
now?
now. Huh?
How many coins do they have now? They've got a bunch of coins on there.
Don't you dare ask me that question right now. Live?
I mean, I didn't ask you that question. Mitch knows exactly, but he's going to withhold it because that's one of those things.
I was
that's,
just there. So
Top secret.
there was 9.
9? All right.
Yeah.
There's
9.
approximately 9 coins available at the CoinFlip ATMs. Check
Hang
them out.
on. I'm really going to the test here. They got Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum,
On the spot.
USDC, AMD. I think that's what it's called. XRP? No, Tron, TRX. They got Tron and Komodo and Stellar, XLM, and I was scrolling through them. I think that's about it.
It's close enough.
It is
And-
close
and-
enough.
And if
And I know they
do
got
this,
over
they can
1,200
clarify in the
machines, so-
comments, right, guys?
What's that?
Nice,
Daniel
nice,
can
nice.
clarify below if he really feels like it. Benza says TRX. You got Tron, yeah?
Yep,
I think you got Tron.
TRX.
Good enough. Check seriously. Coinflip.tech. They're awesome. Great guys, great girls. It's amazing. They're such a good company to work with. And like, there's a lot of crypto ATMs out there, but there's not a lot of them that are actually pleasant to work with. And you can kind of just see from Twitter interactions, a lot of the other out there are kind of salty and snotty to people. So it's really nice being sponsored by a company whose like ethics you can kind of align with. It feels nice. So
Right.
it's just great to be working with them.
Definitely easy to use. And there's just something to be said about taking that dirty, nasty paper, throwing it in a machine, and
Turn it
walking
into Bitcoin.
walking away
baby.
with your crypto in your wallet.
Exactly. And while we're on the
I love
topic
that.
of sponsors and construction as well, shout out to Brinker Group
Hell yeah.
also for sponsoring this episode. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Again, we couldn't do this without the community. We couldn't do this without your support. You guys mean the world to us. We're glad to be back into the swing of things. It feels good. I was like a little kid going to Cedar Point today. I'm like, yeah, we got a live stream tonight. I get so excited,
Yeah.
so pumped up. And this just really helps because it's kind of like once you spark that fuel and that fire starts again, and it's like, okay, come on, let's throw another log
yeah.
in, but it
Oh, yeah.
needs that spark again. And I think we're there. think
Well, I
we
just
got
talked to
that
the
spark.
crypto gent yesterday, and I just received 3 crypto news and a flash segment. So we're about ready to edit and release 3 more podcasts. So we're about to start our rollout. We are currently talking with or reaching out to a couple editors to get some help with that. So I think there's going to be a nice influx of Campfire content coming your guys' way. We've got like 30 episodes recorded. We just got to get them put out. So
Right.
Look
Well,
forward to
you know, the other upside is it gave a lot of people a chance to catch up because they were so far behind. I mean, you can't listen to 3 episodes a week every
No,
week.
it
You just can't.
You can't
do it.
hardly listen to one episode every 2 weeks for most people. It's
I know, right?
an
Right.
hour is a long time to sit and just listen to something. Even if you're multitasking, it's a lot of commitment. So
It depends on
People
your
haven't
drive.
they haven't been in traffic. They haven't been going to work. They've been working
Right.
from home.
Exactly.
That's the best time to listen to a podcast.
When I was in Florida, I could listen to a podcast all the way to Home Depot and listen to one all the way back.
there you go.
There ain't nothing. There ain't no such thing as
no
a mile.
traffic. What are you talking
An
about?
hour easy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight, man. Brandon, Devash, This was awesome.
Sure.
Definitely look forward to getting some more conversations going behind the scenes, and seeing where we go from
Sure.
there. All right.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. Appreciate
Cool.
it.
Yeah. Good luck in your endeavors, man. You guys are doing awesome. I think you're going to go places for sure.
Hell yeah. If you
Thank
guys
you.
get a chance,
Appreciate it.
check these guys out. Follow them on Twitter. We'll talk to you
Yeah,
soon.
Brandon, do you want to plug your URL real fast for Aphid? I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
For sure. It's aphid.io, aphid.io.
See, it's so easy. How
Join the free society. That's our
Join the
motto,
free
free society.
Love
Beautiful.
Love it.
Check it
All
out,
right, guys. Respect. Take care.
Have a good night.
Peace.
Likewise.
Take it easy.
Likewise.